Good morning, everybody. This is perhaps an unusual time for us to have our pre-full moon webinar, but here we are in the Mesa, Arizona, in the Dobson Ranch Inn, having just yesterday finished our 13-day conference. It seems to be growing. Maybe we can take a whole month before long. I don't know. But it was a wonderful conference, and I hope that a number of you were able to tune in via our live streaming. And Brett, who is also on this call, backing us up in terms of technicalities, was sending that live streaming to you. So, and it will be also available over time on the Makara website and maybe on the USR website. We'll see. But we've just concluded, and so perhaps a few of us are a little bit, well, after spending so long, these 2 weeks, maybe a little bit needing recovery. But here it is with the Aries full moon, and that's a point of great inspiration for all of us. I just want to point out that we have the actual Aries full moon occurring. That's really the Easter full moon, although not conventional Easter, at 7:42:16 a.m. On the 15th, April 15th, which is tomorrow. Now, if all goes well, and we're not quite sure, we'll be sending out a full moon broadcast starting probably at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here, and add another 7 hours to it, and we'll get a GMT of 6 a.m. On the 15th, which is that's going to be the Tuesday morning. So if we had 7 hours, 6 a.m. GMT, and we hope to start an actual broadcast, and I'll be sending you the link if we can pull it off. We don't have all of our equipment as we usually do when broadcasting from Finland, but we'll do our very best to reach you, with the broadcasts which include the music. So welcome, and nice to be with you this fine morning. We have here the Jafra illustrations, and you can see that this image is mostly Martian. You have a warrior running along, and his shield is covered with a kind of a animal-like figure. The spirits of Aries under Mars are closely related to the animal kingdom. There's a great fierceness, and the idea of carrying the torch suggests the sixth ray, but it's a very first ray image as well. This figure is on the attack, just like the ram with the lowered head is charging. There's so much first ray energy in Aries. The charge is what we so often find. But I've also noticed in the figure that the magician is lurking here in the background, and the magician is in a way Mercury, which is the esoteric ruler of Aries. So this ability to access ideas from the realm of ideas is not left undepicted in this rather Martian image. And of course, fire is all around. Aries is the first and the primary fire sign, the bursting forth of the life force in the first stage of the 12-fold cycle. Volcanoes are going off in the background, and it's rather a land of desolation, and you see images of destruction. There's not much water here. Everything has been parched and, should we say, scorched as well. So we have to learn how to control the fire. The really higher aspects of Aries have not been so much portrayed in this particular illustration. Here we see in the banner the Martian rulership in red, followed by Mercury, which is a combination of the third, fourth, and fifth rays in yellow, and the color yellow pertains to all of those rays, and finally the hierarchical ruler Uranus in violet. And the mantra for Aries in the spiritual sense, I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. And this seems to be the emergence of the soul from the higher mental plane, and once we learn how to do it, we can focus within the causal body, which we have so much emphasized during this particular conference as the inner temple, and from that position within the causal body we can rule all things below. At the very least, we can focus in the concrete mind, in the mental unit, and from that plane control the astral and mental vehicles. Aries is, after all, a sign of will and control once the Martian impulsive nature has been overcome. Well, I think that's, yeah, and you see, you know, that there are these different ray qualities and their colors. The red is there, the blue is there, I think representing the deep blue of space, but also the idea of the sacrificial lamb slain from the foundations of the world, and also we have the violet of Uranus. Let's see, I think Dwayne has provided us here, Dwayne Carpenter, with a very symbolic image of Aries. It's a great source of light at the center, and it seems it's as if 8 rays are coming forth, and it's kind of interesting because even though the jewel in the lotus, which this seems to suggest, is 7-fold, DK tells us about 8 rays coming forth. Well, maybe it all depends on how we count, you know. The ray 1 of Aries is depicted in red, and the ray 7 of Aries in violet. And there's a kind of a violet background, and spheres and ovals are found here. The causal body, or the body of the universe, is somehow suggested, and it's all against the background of deep space. We see here also the threefold spiral in the horns of the rams, suggesting the threefold spiraling creation. And there's a great source of light at the heart. To me, it really suggests the jewel in the lotus, which is the source of monadic power within the center of our causal body, the central fire with which Aries can be so well associated. There's even a little V here. I don't know if it relates to Vulcan or not, but Aries is one of those signs that does have a close relation to Vulcan in a different way than Taurus does, or Virgo does, or Capricorn. Francis Donald has given us some beautiful images here, and let's see if we can. Yes, here's one of the images from the triple man is here shown, and we will describe that against the background of the earth. Man is triple. There's the spirit, the soul, and the body, and or personality, and these are all represented. And then here we have a depiction of the monad, the solar angel, and the man in the lower worlds, either coming or going, either, as it were, descending or trying to reascend in the later stages of evolution. And all of this, again, is in this deep blue, which I feel is also somewhat related to Aries in terms of its second aspect. I think this is an especially beautiful depiction of the solar angel, and I wonder if I make it a little bit bigger. If you can see that, it seems to be a rather feminine figure, and I think very evocative. There's a lot of mathematics in this, and I suggest simply that you study that. We don't have time to go into it. What I'll do now is read a little bit of what Francis has said, and that will come here. I have many slides here, and I'm just trying to get the right ones. Let's see. This one is, a word goes forth from out the central point of the cardinal cross. That word takes the form of a winged cosmic sphere, the rarefied embodiment of a monad expressing the will to incarnate. And I think this is it here. The soul mirroring the noumenal form. You know, there's the phenomena and the noumena. The noumena are more essential energy centers, and the phenomena is the result of the noumenon in objectification. The soul, mirroring that noumenal form, projects its own mental substance into the phenomenal appearance. This is the highest aspect of the threefold outer form, so that the soul might once again enter the realm of time and space, represented down here by the sort of fivefold man in the lower spheres, and thereby continue its journey on the path of return. And then the famous Blavatsky quote, "Matter is the vehicle for the manifestation of soul on this, our plane of existence, and soul is the vehicle on a higher plane for the manifestation of spirit, and these three are a trinity synthesized by life, which pervades them all." And when we think about life, it is neither, it is none of the first three aspects at all. It's no aspect at all. It's the foundational sponsoring reality, sponsoring all aspects. But Francis says there is another way to read this image. After eons of incarnations, the soul-infused personality has built its antikarana and now stands free of the three worlds of human endeavor. The soul responds and prepares to draw its shadow back into itself. Here, a quote from the Tibetan, "The divine intermediary is no longer required. The Son of God, who is the Son of Mind, dies. The veil of the temple is rent in twain from the top to the bottom. The fourth initiation is passed, and there comes the revelation of the Father." I would say that Aries is very associated with the Father aspect. It is the foremost sign at this time on the first ray. So here we have this beautiful alignment of the monad in the higher spheres. And notice the Great Bear there. The Great Bear is, in a sense, the cosmic Manu, and it is of the centers, the chakras in the one about whom naught may be said, our local cosmic, supercosmic logos. It is within that being representing a first-ray function. And it also represents the seven head centers within this being, the one about whom naught may be said. So the Great Bear, associated much with Aries, Aries, Libra, the Great Bear, has a connotation representing the head, a very first-rate connotation. Aries rules the head. And then this monadic power expresses itself within the sponsoring solar angel and through the causal body. You don't really see the causal body here, but you can imagine that the solar angel is hovering above the man in the lower worlds. And I don't know, perhaps we want to understand this aura surrounding the man as including the causal nature. The entirety of the solar angel is not invested in the causal body. There's more to the solar angel. It's a great and liberated being, and somehow we get this beautiful idea of the supervision of the solar angel above the human being, the downward gazing soul. And all of these rich colors of blue suggest the great second-rate theme which lies behind all process here, regardless of what the sub-rays may be. Then we have this other image, and let's see if we can find that one. Okay. I guess it's no, that's not it. Oh, I suppose this is it. Okay. And here we have the threefold man, and I will read a little bit from it, but it's obvious that there's a great sphere created and an alignment between the abstracted monad, the soul next in line, hovering above and somehow blessing with his hands the man in incarnation. We do have the theme of incarnation initiated in Aries, the sense of going forth into the lower worlds on a great mission. We think about the monad, and it is so much connected with the first ray, of course, the second aspect of the first ray, I would say. It's connected very much with sacrificial Pisces, giving up so much to go into the lower worlds, and with Virgo on the mission of material redemption. All the lower lives that are contacted, and they're represented by Virgo, are purified and redeemed. But it's also connected with Aries, a great coming forth. I come forth into the lower fivefold worlds of human and superhuman evolution. So Aries represents the beginning of this great pilgrimage, even as when the monad moves on after the entire human pilgrimage, Aries can represent the great process of being outward bound towards other planets and other solar systems and other constellations. Let's see a little bit here of what Francis has said about that. Okay. This is it. He says the first step is the province of Aries, the sign of beginnings, the birthplace of divine ideas. Though passage into the physical realm comes through Cancer, it was in Aries that the originating idea of each human being's first incarnation was sent forth, a concept depicted in this image incarnation. Eons later, it is again through Aries that the second great impulse is sent forth, the reversal of the wheel, as it is called, this time opening the way onto the path of return. Aries will initiate the downward coming into matter and the upward, as it were, return towards the higher spheres. Aries rules the head, and it is through the lesser fire of mind that I love this quote, jungles of experience are set on fire and dissolve in flames, and the path stands free. Note the path of lightning in this month's piece. From its origins in the mind of the Hierophant, whose outstretched arms define the arc of the disciple's initiatory experience, down into the head, heart, and solar plexus of the Jiva. This electric fire is the particular province of Uranus, which rules the occult way. Note also that the eyes of the soul, representing soul consciousness, intersect this experiential arc for Uranus. For Uranus symbolizes the effect of the soul upon the personality. So we try to keep those ideas in mind, the arc of experience and the originating electric fire. Uranos is the father of the gods. He's the home of electric fire. We know that the hierarchical ruler of Aries is Uranos, and it is therefore associated with all initiatory beginnings. And if you think about it, the Hierophant is the great initiator. One day, that Hierophant's effort will be responsive, especially to the constellation Aries. Right now, Capricorn is the major sign because we are very earthy on this planet, but eventually Aries will be the great initiator. So we see the descent into incarnation coming from Uranus through the soul, the eyes of the soul upon the lower figure, and this beautiful parallelism of the arms, up, rising, stretched out and slightly upward turned, and stretched out and slightly downward turned. It completes the arc. There's many beautiful things here that Francis has talked about. I'm just going to read this from White Magic. And through the one-pointed efforts of the soul, the struggling jiva is inexorably drawn towards its true self, until finally, after eons of focused endeavor, the disciple's mental, emotional, and physical vehicles are brought into alignment. And this is it. We see that alignment clearly here. Okay. The Hierophant depicts the moment when the soul present penetrates the disciple's brain and thus confirms the fact of the soul's existence. And from White Magic, this knowledge renders the hitherto assumed reality of the three worlds futile to attract and hold, and is the first step out of the fourth into the fifth kingdom. Well, I'll slowly go here, and when you get this, you can stop it and again read. Francis has given these things out. Francis and Dwayne, two of the artists who are working in association with our efforts, the University of the Seven Rays, the Morya Federation, Seven Ray Institute, and so forth, adding to our understanding through their fine symbolic illustrations. Okay, friends, I guess we're reaching the point where we can begin to meditate together. This is, as you know, really the beginning of the high point of the spiritual year, the first of the 3 spiritual festivals. Under Aries, we have the inauguration of the new age. It's a powerful first-ray energy. The forces of restoration are released in Aries. And what is to be restored? The divine plan upon the earth, as was once the case long ago. So there's a great sense of renewal in this sign, and all of us as meditators can look within to find this sense of renewal. Perhaps we have had many intentions, which now we will have the will, the courage, the strength to actually set in motion and actually begin to fulfill as the higher interlude presses on. If our life has been suppressed in any way, and if we have felt that we have been held down and somehow subject to experience, we can, in reflection of the great process of resurrection, we can rise again. We're not talking, of course, about the 7th initiation, the resurrection of the 7th initiation, not that at all, but always Aries can stimulate in the human being the will to rise again. And then it becomes possible to do the things which earlier in the zodiacal cycle did not seem possible, and we enter the field of the new. All right. With those preambles and a sense of the potency of this amazing sign, so connected with the breakthrough potentials of the human being, we will begin our meditation. We're a little bit, well, we're not even 24 hours away from the actual full moon. We're maybe more like roughly 18 hours away. And so we are ending our day of dedication, confidence, aspiration, dedication, rising from the etheric physical through the astral to the mental plane, and then we will be entering, let's say in another 7 hours or so, the period of reception and safeguarding. We're in that period 12 hours before the full moon when that starts, and then some 12 hours afterwards. And that is the time, at least when Master DK used to look out into the world and be receptive to the aspirations and the intentions and the rising focus of his disciples. So let us assume also that there are masters and higher lives who can take our will to rise again into their meditation and facilitate our upward rising process. There's as much of the up in Aries as there is the down, because there's lots of power of manifestation here as well through the 7th ray. Okay. So we will focus as a soul in incarnation. And we are in the lower worlds, but we detach from them. We know this is the physical realm, It's constantly with us, but we are something essentially other than this physicality. I have a body, but I am not that body. The old Raja Yoga formulation. I have sentient, feeling, emotional states, sensitive states of the astral body, but I am not them. I have a lower mind with its many mental processes and thoughts, but again, more essentially, I am not those. What then am I? I am the soul in incarnation. I am a point of pure being with its consciousness. And the usual worlds, the habitual worlds of personality, to which we pay so much attention in our waking consciousness, these can slip below the threshold of consciousness as we enter another domain, another sphere of consciousness. And that is the soul sphere. We can enter the domain of the angel of the presence, working through the egoic lotus. We can enter our temple of light and love and life, and identify it as our truer home than the personality. So here we are, at least imaginatively, in the realm of soul light. All of us together, of soul love, magnetism, cohesion, holding us together wherever we may be, meditating, and soul will, soul sacrificial will, the power of the soul. This is our domain now. And we are connected with each other on the soul plane. Let's just let that idea sink in. Connected with each other. We are as if one being, and we relate in oneness to the men and women of goodwill, as if we can feel them in the heart. And to the members of the new group of world servers, powerful workers for the good, the true, and the beautiful, magnetically related inwardly to each other. And really, to the billions of human beings, yes, we are also related in soul in that way, whether these human beings are in incarnation or out of incarnation, and to all the kingdoms of nature. Feel that relation to every animal form on the face of this earth or in the sea, We are not out of relationship with any of these. Every bird that flies, every insect that crawls, or skitters along the face of the earth, the relationship is there to every plant, every member of the vegetable kingdom. The relationship holds. Even to every rock, every mineral, no form of life in this entire sphere and beyond, but that we are directly related to it in essence. And though the consciousnesses within these kingdoms are very different, we can truly say with the Tibetan, in relation to the second ray, naught is but me. Naught is but me in the larger sense. So we have this sense of oneness. It's not only in Pisces that it occurs. Aries is the sign of the one, and a precursor, perhaps, of isolated unity can be felt here, or maybe even a more powerful oneness when the sun is truly exalted in Aries as far as consciousness is concerned. So here we are together as one being, one consciousness, leaving behind our habitual selves. And we can focus together almost anywhere in this elevator of consciousness, but when we meditate, we like to establish a firm focus on the fourth subplane of the mental plane, where the mental unit is found, the top, as it were, of the concrete mind, and the point of entry into the causal world. And we can take that point, which will become the point of antichironic intention. We can infuse it together with the will to initiate, all of us receiving it, of the first ray, and the will to unify of the second ray, the will to evolve of the third ray, the will to harmonize of the fourth ray, the will to act of the fifth ray, the will to cause of the sixth ray, and the will to expression, the will to express, which we have so much emphasized at this seventh ray conference. So important, so closely related to Aries, the seventh ray, which brings the great idea in the mind of God into manifestation. So here we are, focusing together at that mental unit, the group mental unit, drawing up the powers of the group personality, feeding the intensity of the mental unit, from which we will stage via the imagined antichirana an act of projection. So let us all, according to the colors of our soul and personality ray, let us imagine the twofold bridge. The colors we can use: red, first ray; indigo, second ray; green, third ray; yellow, fourth ray; orange, fifth ray; rose, sixth ray; violet, seventh ray. There are other colors, of course, but we can use these. And each one of us imagine the bridge. The bridge to the higher worlds. And perhaps if we don't know what our solar personality ray may be, we can use indigo in general. It is the major ray of our planet, the soul ray, and of our solar system, the soul ray. So all of these many strands of the Antakarana, our own individual strand and those of our brothers and sisters, they are rising together in a cone-like formation toward a point of blue-white intensity, which we can symbolize as representing the monad. And we have the multicolored Antakarana of the group, or you can think of this inwardly toward the center of a sphere if you wish. But let's get the sense of that rising multicolored Antakarana in which our soul and personality energies are rising upward through the triadal sphere into the abstract mind, the planetary heart of Buddhi, the planetary will of Atma, at least imagined, and all anchoring together in the monad, the point of pure being, so connected with Aries. Monad, Aries, soul, Leo, body, Sagittarius. So of the three fire signs, Aries is so connected with the father aspect, with the monad, with the pure being, which must descend to manifest and create all the other vehicles and aspects with which we are familiar. So this will give us the wisdom and the power, the intelligence of the higher worlds, descending upon the group aura, impressing it. And across this multicolored bridge, bringing us all the qualities of divinity, we will, as if project the beam of pure white light. We will project it as if it moves from our mental unit across the bridge through the triadal spheres and anchors in the monad. We will use the secondary word of power, I see the greatest light, and we can sound the Om outwardly. We'll sound it on the note G. It's a second-rate note. And repeat inwardly to ourselves as we project, I see the greatest light. We'll do that 3 times. So then the group is imaginatively open to the descent of the higher impersonal forces and energies, and we can gain thereby a greater perspective as we deal with this sign in the first phase of the higher interlude. We have, in a way, entered the realm where the Master's consciousness is always focused. It's a realm beyond our customary focus, but as we salute the great ones, offer our salutations, our solidarity, our cooperation, our recognition of what they are, and what they are attempting to do, our pledged cooperation, as we offer these things in our salutations, we can stabilize our receptivity of the energies from the realms in which they constantly work. So let us begin. Salutations to the Christ, the Master of all masters, the teacher alike of angels and of men. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we work most closely, Master M, Master KH, Master DK. Our solidarity, this triangle, which has had so much to do with the bringing of the ageless wisdom to humanity, may be ahead of schedule through their great compassion. Salutations to the Master Morya, the head of all esoteric schools and organizations. Salutations to the Master Kutumi, whose ashram is doing the most to prepare for the reappearance of the Christ. The great second ray ashram, the great leader and Chohan, who will be the Christ of the age of Capricorn. Our salutations. Salutations to the Master DK, who trains aspirants for initiation, who has given us the blue books, who works most closely with many aspirants, training them initially for work with KH and M. Salutations to your own Master as you know him to be or conceive him to be. Salutations to the entire spiritual hierarchy of our planet. The great white brotherhood of guiding spirit souls. And at this time when the first ray forces of Aries are being released, we imagine the approach as a group to Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. And with deepest reverence and in all humility, attempt, identified as the soul, as the group soul, to attune with the presence of Sanat Kumara, the Lord of the world, the Lord of purpose, the great teacher and savior of the planet. Our attunement with the great Lord, imaginatively, from whom the purpose emanates. And inwardly and silently, a long Om, as we imagine the group, the groups, the new group of world servers, and eventually all men and women of goodwill, all of humanity eventually, infused with some knowledge of his purpose via the plan. This is a shambolic time, and we need this high will alignment as disciples to carry forth what it is our intention to do, in alignment with, in alliance with the great purposes of our elder brothers. We need to know the will of God, our planetary logos. Through Aries we can recognize that will and work with the will. And work then with the will as it works through the plan, which is rapidly precipitating, even if we don't always recognize the manner of this precipitation. But here we are as a group. We are as if one united consciousness. We are certainly one being. We come together in that very mysterious factor, the point. We leave behind many personal things and focus only as a point of being consciousness, a point of will, of love, of light. We get the sense of ourselves as condensed together into this point. All of our forces and energies concentrated. No space between us, no extension. A synthesis together of all we are. And according to the symbolism we use, we hover above the golden path which leads to the center of the indigo sphere. the great color, synthetic color indigo, all of this representing the interiority of the sphere of consciousness. And as the golden path shortens, we travel with it, shortening, shortening, as it is absorbed into the indigo sphere, and we, as the point, are in the midst, imaginatively, of this indigo sphere. We breathe in the synthetic color, indigo. The color of the night sky. And here we find the consciousness, the presence of Master DK, who, let us imagine, will, with his knowledge of planetary, zodiacal, ray, and hierarchical energies, will support our quest to enter the field of these energies consciously as a group and receive them and distribute them. So let us feel in our point as if pervaded by the presence of Master DK. Let us feel that we can more acutely understand the energies which are now available here, everywhere, non-locally, all over the earth. We will raise our consciousness towards the three planetary rulers of the constellation Aries. Mars, the exoteric ruler, conveying to all of us the fortitude and the will to fight for a high ideal, the sixth ray aspect of Mars. We need this. Towards Mercury, the esoteric ruler, conveying the power to apprehend the archetypal idea, to translate it into clear thought which can be communicated, to destroy the illusion in which we so often live through a fiery mental process. And Uranus, the hierarchical ruler, conveying the electric fire of pure will as it works through the violet fire of manifested will. All of this for the ultimate vivification of the entire human energy system, its electrification. We have emphasized the body electric at this conference, and Uranus through Aries will help to make this body electric a prominent factor in our consciousness. We link through Uranus to the world of being, to the archetypal worlds. So these three planets, the red, the yellow, the violet, at least interiorly, this is what we link to as we begin to approach these spheres. In our consciousness. supported, pervaded by the energy of Master Decay and by our contacts with the impersonal triadal worlds and the sphere of being, to which Aries gives the entree. So let us take them one by one. The power of Mars. You can visualize this red-orange planet as it appears outwardly, or the symbol of Mars in red, the circle and the arrow, and what it bestows for us. Spiritual courage, the undying fiery aspiration for fusion with divinity and for the successful manifestation of the divine ideal embodied in the divine plan for which we are willing to contend as we must. Master DK said an unusual thing for a second-ray master. He said to all of his students, when describing the world situation, he said, "See that you battle." The high ideal, the courage to contend for the institution of the high ideal. So we open in the silence to the ray of Mars, to the energy of Mars. It's close to Earth. It is easier to feel that Martian ray. We've been feeling it a long time in lower types of expressions. But we want this high, idealistic expression of Mars. And look at our groups and see where they need the Martian vibration. Not for the friction that it so often causes and the irritation, not that, but something else that will empower our groups with idealistic courage. The courage to reach the ideal and bring it into manifestation. So let us absorb this. Let us see this red energy of Mars entering our groups in a constructive way, in a harmonious way, galvanizing, mobilizing, and strengthening, empowering, directing. Courageous groups. Courage. Perhaps we can demonstrate this courage over the days to come. We cannot have weak esoteric groups. They must be courageous. We're going to sound on a red note, the Om, on the note C, seeing this Martian energy flow into the groups, the servers of the world, the men and women of goodwill, the right use of Mars, creating better situations of mobilized courage and willingness to fight for that which is right. We will be fortified by Mars. the next few days. Then we will venture further to the planet symbolized as yellow, Mercury, the esoteric ruler. We can visualize the glyph of Mercury, this planet of ultimately transcendental mind, not only concrete mind, not only the son of mind or abstract mind, not only rational mind, but intuitive mind, contributing to the burning of the jungles of experience, or as I call them, the jungles of illusion, are set on fire and the path stands free. So here we have the power to stimulate intuitive recognition, intuitive precipitation of the divine plan. We can enter this birthplace of ideas, where these beings called ideas are descending and approaching and bringing their structural changes to the conditions which abide. Mercury, the emissary of Uranus, conveying the ideas that will change the world. So we ponder on Mercury as the transmitter of new ideas and the bridge between the archetypal worlds and the worlds of form. The higher responsiveness of the Aries person is to Mercury, also connected with the head, with thinking, but with really receiving the transmission from higher realms, the messages, the impressions from the realms which we need to contact in order to know the plan in a first-hand manner, and not just as it may have been explained to us by others. First-hand, intuitive contact through Mercury. We open up to this Mercurian stream, the lightness of it, the upliftingness of it, the vision of it. And we seek to be impressed by the downflow. First the idea, then the thought, and then the formulated action and its expression. Our groups need this in what way? A more illumined group, a more receptive group, a more transmissive group. Not only our group, but the many affiliated groups and the servers as a whole. Much ruled by Mercury, because it is a fourth-ray group, the new group of world servers. Taurus and Mercury, actually much connected. And the Ajna Center, too, at some point ruled by Mercury. The new group of world servers being that Ajna Center for humanity. Mercury. We will imagine the streams of Mercurian energy entering our groups, rendering them more intelligent, more filled with light, more illuminated, brighter, and able to communicate this light to others, penetrating the dark of ignorance, able to help burn the jungles of experience, setting them on fire, so that the path for so many who do not know where they are going stands free, clear, understood. Will sound on the Buddhic note, the yellow note, the E, the note do re mi, the mi note, will sound a little higher, capturing the Mercury lightness, and see our groups transformed by this sacred planet of the third ray, the fourth ray, and the fifth ray. May this yellow note permeate our groups, bring harmony to the world of thought, and help us bring through those ideas which emanate from the archetypal worlds. As we walk through these days, Mars is present, Mercury is present. These energies are to be felt, assimilated, used, expressed. Let's be conscious of it. And now, even though it's very high, on to magical Uranus, the great father, the home of electric fire, the violet planet, bestowing upon us the inspiration for the total transformation and renewal of the individual and group personality, and even of humanity's personality. We seek to understand Uranus in relation to Aries as the power that enables the initiate to tread the final burning ground, thus overcoming the illusion of time and space and establishing in consciousness the reality of synthesis, high intentions and possibilities. So we move out in our imagination towards Uranus. Its actual color is more turquoise, perhaps, more blue turquoise, but inwardly the seventh ray planet, violet, the agent of great change in response to the archetypal worlds. And when Uranus is in our midst, things do change, things do move. Disruption comes, but then, after the chaos, a configuration closer to the divinely intended plan and the archetypal purpose. We want to authentically be in the presence of these great forms with a capital F, as Plato called them, not material forms at all, but the great archetypal forms on the monadic plane and beyond, the plane of the Sea of Fire, where Uranus is particularly related. The patterns which shape our world are there, and the power to change relationship comes with Uranus. Until relationship is archetypalized. Can we be agents for change? The change which must come. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And we see both Mercury and Uranus involved in this thought of the idea whose time has come. Sensitive to time, to timing. We're in the final period of the Forerunner. Another 11 years or so. Ideas are here, and their time has come. We have to be bold, courageous, illumined representatives of those ideas which will change the shape of things. Our groups need this freedom which comes from breaking the old conditioning and conforming to the descending archetypes. The freedom to be the archetype. The freedom to be authentic. Freedom to be what we are. We need to take this energy into our group so they are truly creative in the archetypal sense. Not just efficient, not just competent, but truly free and creative. The Uranian stream of energy directed into our groups. And those qualities appearing in our thought, in our actions. Bringing the new. There's no more powerful symbol of the new than Uranus in relation to Aries. First ray Uranus in relation to first ray Aries. And as we sound the Om on the note B, a violet note, and one of the notes related to the seventh ray and to Uranus, sometimes called the moon, but it's the moon veiling Uranus, we will imagine the changes which must occur and the new flow of creativity to bring the new through the power of our groups and in our own individual life. Creative change, fearlessly realized and expressed. We are courageous, we are illumined, we are empowered by the archetypes in the high world of being. All these things are the gifts of Aries through their planetary rulers. We are in our beautiful love-wisdom solar system, the system of the blue logos, and we raise our consciousness towards that great God of love wisdom, towards the heart of the sun, the soul of the sun. And we attempt to feel in our own heart that great heart. All of us monadic units in that great solar logos, and all of us hearts of love within that great logos. We are pervaded by the blue. We've seen that blue in these depictions of the sacrificial lamb. We are related in the fire of love to each other, in the fire of love. No matter where we go and what we do, we're in the solar logos and that great fire of love. And this is a fire sign. Our God is a consuming fire. And we are consumed in the fire of love as we reach out toward the constellation itself. The constellation of Aries, where we find the light of life itself, a dim point of light found at the center of the cycle of manifestation. Faint and flickering at first, it is the searchlight of the Logos, seeking that which can be used, no doubt, to express the divine purpose through the divine plan. Initiating for us at this time the New Age. We're approaching in our imagination the constellation Aries, the Lord of the constellation Aries. These are great beings working with the stars and whatever systems they have. We are opening to the light of Aries, to the first ray, seventh ray nature of Aries. To use it wisely, so that it does not cause lack of control, but is a truly empowering sign, directing us towards the initiatives which our soul is prompting us to undertake, helping us restore the plan in ourselves and the plan in society, in civilization. Renewal can come through these energies. And so we enter our moment of deeper thought on the meaning of the Aries spiritual mantra, I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. As we think about this, we'll attempt to focus within our causal body, within this inner temple of solar man. I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. We'll ponder together. What must it mean in our lives and in the lives of collective humanity? I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. What must we rule? I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. Who are we when we rule? What new rulership must we undertake? I come forth. Realizing pure being at the central heart of fire, in the center of the egoic lotus, from which the lower worlds can be ruled in line with the plan and the intuited purpose. The first ray, seventh ray of Aries, the sixth ray of Mars, the fourth ray of Mercury, the seventh ray of Uranus, yes, all of these, assisting us to embody I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. We'll sound the red note to close this little reflection, which should be carried on throughout the day as we move in less than 24 hours, more like 18 hours, to the actual moment of the full moon. No. I come forth. Let us embody this, express it in a constructive way, representing the plan, intuiting the purpose, and ruling those forces which must be regimented, the seventh ray word, regimented by the plan, and not allowed to obscure or interfere with the descending plan. From the Pleiades, the hub of our local system, these energies come. Sevenfold energy working through that point in the zodiac, that heart in the head center of the one about whom naught may be said, working through that Aries petal, as it were, of the major 12-petaled lotus of the supercosmic God. And out towards the great bear, representing the 7 head centers within the one about whom naught may be said, the great Pleiadian being, through our solar logos. And through the heart of the sun, which is stronger at this time than the monad of the sun, it being a soul system. Later comes the monad of the sun in the next solar system, and maybe what Aries is will be even stronger then. Out to the planet Mars, to the planet Mercury, to the planet Uranus, and thence to the earth, to Shambhala, where the energies are collected under the law of assembly, affecting every monad in Shambhala, every soul in hierarchy. And for those properly trained personalities, the energies flow on in a conscious way into us, into others who can receive, and consciously know what to transmit, to renew the world. Time of renewal. Into the head center, the number 1, and all the way to the base of the spine, grounding, embodying, I come forth. That energy has come forth, and it will rule. The ability to start again and rise from the conditioning which is holding us in prison. So look out into the world. See what must be changed. In every ashram, there is an initiative to change something in the world. What do you think needs changing the most? And when you see that which must be changed, let us direct towards such a situation the reconditioning, revitalizing, renewing, restoring energies of Aries and its associated rays and planets, to see the change take place. We'll use the Aries note, the red note C, on the Om, and we'll see the change take place in our imagination. let us resolve to be aspects of the renewing, restorative, regenerating energy applied in force. Changes are due in our lives, in our group lives, in our national lives, in humanity as a whole. And when the new ideas come in, capturing the imagination of human beings, the changes can occur and must occur. So using the energies of Aries, let's be part of these changes now due. And we will build in the next 18 hours towards an intensification of the reception and of this energy, its safe holding, its augmentation, its increase in intensity, and then its right distribution. So, with these thoughts in mind, we will close with the sounding of the great invocation, visualizing how the light, love, and power which represent the divine plan can find their way into humanity, be grounded in humanity, and change the conditions of humanity so that the new ideas representing the ever-abiding archetypes can be expressed. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you, everybody. I will repeat the times of the full moon for you. 7:42 and 16 seconds a.m. GMT, the invariable time, universal time. Here in Mountain Standard Time, Arizona, midnight. 42 minutes after midnight and 16 seconds. And we'll do our best later on, some hours from now, maybe another 12, 14, but 17 hours from now, we'll do our best to get a broadcast to you under the circumstances. Do your best to increase this energy, intensify this energy during the day, use it properly, stand in reception of the energy and right expression of this very powerful inaugurative energy. Start something new, something good, start something going in your life that needs starting, and stick with it. Okay, lots of love to everybody, and we'll be looking for you in meditation together. All the best, and let's have a great Easter. Easter it is. Let's have a great resurrection all together. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.